This time, the story isn't just about a leopard, but also flowers and the grasses swaying through them. And every scene along the way gave me a fresh feeling during this journey. Our journey is to the Rajaji National Park in Uttarakhand. It is one of the best places in India to see leopards. But it is not just about leopards. There are also many types of birds and various other animals in here. So, shall we go on a journey through this forest together and try to spot some leopards? After Kerala, I feel like the most majestic animals can be found in here. Welcome to Rajaji National Tiger Reserve. This national park was converted into a tiger reserve in 2015. This is the ticket counter for the safari. From here, we can get the entry tickets and book a private gypsy jeep for the safari. Once the gate opens, we will be heading for our first safari in the afternoon. We are traveling while closely observing these trees because leopards usually rest on treetops. Even though Rajaji is a tiger reserve, spotting a tiger here is very rare, only about 4 to 5 times a year. Tigers are more commonly found in Jim Corbett National Park, which is better suited for them. Since there are more tigers there, leopards tend to move towards Rajaji National Park. That is why leopards are easier to spot in here. By the way, did you notice these beautiful blue flowers? During March, most areas here are full in bloom. Although the flowers last until around the first week of June, March is when they are at their peak. Since our trip is in the first week of March, both sides of the path look like a garden in full bloom. No matter which animal appears, the scenery remains breathtaking. In the places where we live, we often try to create beauty artificially. But look at this forest, where the animals live. Without any interference, nature itself has made it so stunning, isn't it? Here we can also spot hornbills, including the great Indian hornbill that we may have seen in other places. But here they are at their home. The male hornbill stays outside, while the female remains inside. The female goes inside the tree cavity to lay eggs, and then the entrance is sealed with mud and other materials, leaving only a small hole. She stays inside for nearly a month while the male brings food for her through the tiny opening. It was just yesterday or the day before that the female entered the cavity. Now, for the next 2-3 days, the male hornbill will seal the hole completely. Once it is sealed, he will be the one responsible for feeding the female until the eggs hatch. They usually lay 1 or 2 eggs in a season. After approximately 40 days, when the eggs hatch, the male hornbill will break open the sealed cavity to release the female and the chicks. However, if anything happens to the male within those 40 days, the female trapped inside will not survive. Hornbills mate for life and stay with only one partner throughout their lifetime. If you ever see a hornbill flying alone, it likely means that somewhere a female is waiting inside a tree cavity, depending on him for food. As we moved forward and reached the side of a pond, we heard a deer's alarm call. That is when we realized a leopard was nearby. So, we waited, and there it was, the true king of Rajaji, a majestic leopard. Its name is Panna. Carefully scanning its surroundings, it gracefully walked straight towards the water to drink. Since tigers are very rare in this forest, leopards here have no real reason to be afraid. However, a sense of caution is still in their nature. Usually, when a tiger walks confidently through an area, leopards tend to stay hidden, constantly scanning their surroundings. This is why spotting them can be quite tricky. But in Rajaji, with almost no tigers around, the leopards reign as kings, the true rulers of Rajaji, with no other predator to fear. They move around very freely. Unlike in other places, they don't have to hide or be overly cautious, making leopard sightings much more common in here. However, if a tiger does happen to pass through this area, even a single leopard won't be seen anywhere nearby. One unique trait of these leopards is their incredible ability to adapt to any situation. For example, if they are in a dry region with no water sources, they can survive for up to a week without drinking water. Normally, they would find a way to get water, but if necessary, they can endure without it. Similarly, even if they go without food for a week, they can still survive without much trouble. Leopards can live in extreme heat as well as extreme freezing cold conditions. They thrive in open grasslands as well as in high mountain ranges. This remarkable ability to adapt to any environment is that makes leopards very special. Panna, this male leopard, is around 5 years old. Unlike some leopards that frequently pose for photographers, he isn't one to seek attention. It seemed like he had just finished a big meal and had come for a drink. His belly looked full. There was a camera set up by the side of the pond, mounted on a tree. Watching the leopard approach it was quite interesting. These cameras are installed by the forest department to conduct leopard census, observe their behavior, and monitor what other animals visit the area. However, without any signs of disturbance, he calmly posed as needed and then walked away at his own slow, steady pace. This bird is a white-rumped shama. The male has a blue-black shade, while the female is a lighter color. Though they are birds, they are highly territorial. Both male and female birds have separate territories and only come together during the mating season. A grey langur is sitting on a tree enjoying a ripe fruit. In the wild, figs are one of the most easily available and essential food sources for many animals. If a fig tree is in season, it will be filled with fruits, providing food for many creatures. Watching the langur sit comfortably and feast on the fruit is almost envy-inducing. Our Rajaji National Park is a sal forest, meaning most of the trees here are sal trees. These trees remain lush and green throughout both summer and monsoon seasons. Due to their strong and high quality wood, they are often used for making furnitures. Now here's the nilgai. However, nilgai actually belongs to the antelope family, not the deer family. There are significant differences between the two. These are female nilgai. The males have a slightly darker color and are the only ones with horns. India currently has only about 5 to 6 species of antelopes remaining. Among them, nilgai and black bucks are the most commonly seen, while the others are on the verge of extinction. Although Same forests in central India still have antelope populations. Spotting them isn't easy. Moving forward, we reached another river. Every kilometer or so, we had to cross small rivers like this to continue our journey. As we looked towards the riverbank, we saw a leopard crossing. She noticed us, paused for a moment, and calmly continued on her way. This was Diana, a 4-year-old leopard. Compared to their overall body size, leopards generally have relatively short legs. However, they make up for it with their strong muscular build and long, powerful nails. Even though it might look like her tail is dragging on the ground as she walks, in reality she moves in such a way that no dirt or dust sticks to her body. A leopard simply minds its own business, walking its path without bothering anyone. She paused in between, looking at us and striking different poses. Among the big cats, leopards are considered to be the most intelligent compared to other 4 larger wild cats. They have exceptional hunting skills, with the ability to ambush prey stealthy and even carry prey as big as themselves up into a tree. This incredible strength and adaptability allows them to survive in almost any conditions. After giving us some stunning poses for a while, Diana gracefully walked past us and disappeared into the forests. Personally, I admire leopards more than tigers. While tigers symbolize power and majesty, leopards represent elegance and beauty, which makes them my favorite big cat. Look, a hawk eagle. There are 2 types of hawk eagles, the crested hawk eagle and the crestless hawk eagle. Among these, the crested variety is more commonly seen. Its actual color is a slightly darker brown. But since this one is still young, it has a lighter shade. As it matures, the white tones will gradually fade and the brown shade will become more prominent. Their usual prey consists of frogs, monitor lizards, and squirrels. Did you notice its eyes, just like a round marble? They're incredibly sharp, exactly what gives them out. Let's talk a bit about the safari in Rajaji National Park. Located near Dehradun in Uttarakhand, Rajaji National Park offers safari experiences in 2 main zones. Chilla Range, which is close to Jim Corbett National Park, Mohand Range, where we are currently on safari. Since leopard movement is higher in the Mohand Range, it is the better option for safari. A private gypsy for one safari costs around 5,000 rupees. Since these are privately operated, prices may vary. Each gypsy can accommodate up to 5 people. If you take around 4 to 5 safaris, there is a high chance of spotting a leopard. I will provide more details about the safari center's location in the description. The woolly-necked stork, which can be seen in our fields and wetlands, is a special attraction as it walks gracefully in between. If you're interested in wildlife photography, you should visit Rajaji at least once. Regarding safari timings, there are 2 slots, one in the morning and another in the evening, both lasting 4 hours. However, park closes for the monsoon season on June 15 and reopens 5 months later on November 15. The 7 months after reopening are the best time to visit for sightings. But if you want to witness the beautiful blooming season, the best time to visit is late February or the first week of March. This is a word-eater flycatcher. Its specialty is its beautiful blue color, which is very striking. The younger ones have a lighter shade, and as they mature into adults, their color darkens slightly. There are 3 to 4 types of flycatcher birds with similar blue shades found in our region. To be honest, birds are more visible here than animals, which I'm sure you may have realized by now. While we were returning in the evening, a wild tusker suddenly emerged from the forest. We weren't sure if it was disturbed or agitated, so we stopped our vehicle right there. However, 2 gypsies had already passed ahead. The people in the vehicle might have been halfway losing their lives. Anyway, it was very clear that the tusker was disturbed for some reason. Seeing this elephant was truly a magnificent sight. It roamed fearlessly in its own forest without any chains or restraints. This particular tusker was cautious, and after a moment, it slowly retreated into the depths of the forest. As soon as it disappeared into the jungle, we started our vehicle. But the moment the engine roared to life, the tusker turned back towards us again. It was very clear that this elephant had a bit of an attitude. It didn't seem very interested in the safari vehicles. By the time the sun was setting, we began our return journey. So far, we had only spotted 2 leopards today. On our way back, we noticed fresh leopard paw prints on the road. It looked like the leopard had passed by just 5 minutes before we arrived. Following the path where we saw the paw marks, we headed towards a nearby pond to check. And there it was, Maya, the most beautiful and well-known leopard of Rajaji. Watching Maya emerge gracefully through the flowers was an absolutely breathtaking sight. This leopard, around 2 to 3 years old, was bold and confident. Unlike others, it did not panic or run away upon seeing the safari vehicles. As it walked along the side of the pond, I thought it might stop to drink some water. But instead, it just kept walking purposefully without drinking. This leopard, also known by its second name Choti Neelam, has been separated from its mother for about a year. Compared to other leopards, this one has a light blue eyes, which are incredibly attractive. Its mesmerizing gaze is a dream for every photographer who visits Rajaji. For the past 2 days, Maya had ventured into another part of the territory. But just as safari was coming to an end, the leopard returned to its usual area. With that, it disappeared into the depths of the jungle. So let's test our luck again tomorrow. After the safari, we reached our stay for the night at the Rosette farmstead. It takes around 10 minutes to reach from the safari center. I'll include the location and the contact details of the stay in the description. So, we have reached our room, had dinner and went to bed. The next morning, before daylight, we've arrived near the safari gate. As soon as we entered, we were greeted by a chilling and thrilling sound, the continuous alarm calls of deer. That was a clear sign that a leopard was nearby. However, the light was still too dim, so we decided to wait for a while. After waiting for a while, as the light started to appear, there she was, Maya, the same leopard we saw yesterday sitting on a tree. But she didn't stay there for too long. Suddenly she got up, stretched, and prepared to climb down the tree. This was the first time I had ever seen a leopard climbing down from a tree like this, using its sharp claws on its paws. It gripped the tree bark firmly as it descended. After climbing down the tree, Maya walked through the grasslands and crossed the road to enter the forest. She then walked down towards another tree, as if planning to climb it. She seemed quite light in weight, making it easy for her to leap onto the tree effortlessly. This breathtaking sight unfolded just before sunrise around 6:15 a.m. She jumped down onto the tree, found a comfortable spot, and it looked like she was settling down to rest for a while. This is the growling sound of a leopard. There are different types of roars expressing anger, aggression, or warning. However, this particular call is actually a mating call. It is a sound made by a female leopard to attract a male into their territory for mating. Leopards are territorial animals, and normally females do not enter a male's territory. So when it's mating season, the females signals her presence in this way to invite a male. Do you see the piercing gaze of a Choti Neelam? Her intense stare was striking. Coincidentally, there was also an owl sitting on a nearby tree, staring just as intently. But unlike Maya's blue eyes, the owl had yellow eyes. This was a jungle owlet, a species well known in this area. Maya is still under 3 years old. Her mother Mala, another well-known leopard in this region. However, Mala's territory is about 5 to 8 kilometers away, so she is not commonly spotted in here. Since she was a cub, Maya has been accustomed to safari vehicles, which is why she remains calm and unbothered even when they are around. After finishing her meal, Maya lies down like a lifeless creature and falls into deep sleep. Across the world, leopards are divided into 8 recognized subspecies based on their habitat, such as the African leopard, Indian leopard, and Arabian leopard. Even though they are named after the regions, all leopards look quite similar at first glance. Only with careful observation can one start to notice their differences. As soon as the word spread that a leopard had been sighted early in the morning, all the safari vehicles in the area rushed to the spot. Our guide and driver Shahrukh skillfully positioned our vehicle at a safe distance, ensuring that we did not disturb the leopard resting on a tree. Maya had been calling for a male leopard for a long time, but no male responded, so she finally decided to climb down from the tree. We were hoping that if a male leopard had heard her call, we might get a chance to witness a mating interaction. This leopard was giving us plenty of amazing photographic moments, and we were sure to capture some satisfying shots and videos. After licking herself thoroughly, Maya finally began to climb down from the tree. For a moment, we thought she might walk onto the road, but instead she silently disappeared into the depths of the jungle. Since she had left, we decided to move forward. The sun was rising, casting a golden glow over the forest. We turned our focus to see if there were any other animals nearby. A little further down the path, we spotted a herd of deer grazing by the roadside. They seemed completely focused on eating, unaware of our presence. As we observed, a dry tree branch suddenly snapped and fell from above. It was likely a monkey sitting on a tree, intentionally breaking the branch and dropping it, perhaps to help the deer by shaking down some leaves for them to eat. Look over there. Two Egyptian vultures are perched together. They seem to be a pair. These vultures feed on the remains of dead animals, playing an important role in cleaning the ecosystem. While they are rarely seen in Kerala, they are more commonly found in Tamil Nadu, especially in the Tirunelveli region. They usually nest on cliffs, old ruins and rocky edges of mountains. Like another vultures, Egyptian vultures have a strikingly white appearance, making them stand out beautifully in landscape. Look, this is the same nilgai we saw yesterday. While the female nilgai has khaki-colored coat, the male has a slightly darker shade. These animals are quite large. The nilgai is the largest antelope in Asia. Yesterday, at the start of our safari, we spotted the great Indian hornbill. And now, look, this one is the oriental pied hornbill. In our region, there is another species called the Malabar pied hornbill, which looks somewhat similar but has a few noticeable differences. The oriental pied hornbill is commonly found in the central India, northeast India, and even Nepal. And here we have the Indian grey hornbill. The Malabar grey hornbill is more commonly seen, but there are slight differences between the two species. The Indian grey hornbill are more frequently found in Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh. Since this is the mating season for many birds, we have been able to spot a wide variety of species during this trip. This is the red-wattled lapwing, a bird that can be seen all across India from Kerala to Kashmir. The jungle fowl is an important bird for us. When compared to the jungle fowl of South Indian forests, this one has a notable differences in both color and size. This particular fowl was spotted in Kaziranga National Park, Assam, during our travels in the northeast India. If we continue showcasing all the birds we have seen here, this might turn into a bird watching story instead. So with that, we wrap up our Rajaji adventure. Our leopard episode ends in here. We'll meet again in the next forest story. So until then, see you.